When you learn to love yourself, you don't let people project their insecurities onto you. You don't let them project the fact of how they feel about themselves onto you. Some people tell you they love you to hear that shit in return. Some people tell you they miss you to hear that shit in return because of how they feel about themselves. It's validation. You know what I mean? I know because I've done it. What's the worst relationship you were in, and what was the biggest lesson learned from it? Um, so I'm 36. I've been in relationships, if you want to count the elementary. So I don't know what, 4, 5 years old, some that kid bullshit. Yeah, relationships. As far as like, I'm thinking sixth grade. I'm gonna call it that. Sixth grade was probably my first actual relationship in the sense of engaging with another with a girl. You know what I mean? And only girls, damn it. Let's be clear now. I only been with only fucking woman and women. I mean girls and women. You get what I'm saying. But in that and it was, again, just not looking back at things. You communicate how a child, like a child does. That typical shit, how Cedric the Entertainer joked about sometimes you be on the phone when you in middle school, be like, you sleep? No. Mm-mm. You sleepy? I mean, I'm sleepy, but I ain't sleep yet. That type of thing. You joked about that, but that's kind of like what how the communication was as a kid for some of us. I mean, some of us probably had better communication, might have saw better communication within the home or just things we've been exposed to. But to be in that scenario and looking back at that type of dating, then moving into like the high school shit. Now high school is all about, you're getting older, so you're thinking that you're ready for more adult type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as how to convince girls to let you finger them or what have you. And the reason I'm going through all of this shit is to talk about, but through all these relationships I've been in, from the elementary, from the middle school, from high school, to being in the Air Force, to living in Miami for like 10 plus years and all that stuff. Of all those relationships that I've been in, the worst relationship that I've had was with myself. Fact of the matter is, I treated everybody better than I treated myself the entire fucking time. But I was never taught to do it as well. And I don't think the people that raised me, the ones that taught me, whoever were around me, I don't think they even knew themselves. You know what I mean? Because again, we're mirrors. We pick up. It's not what you say, it's what you do. So we're gonna do what we see. So, but worst relationship that I've ever been in was the one I had with myself. I treated myself poorly. I doubted myself. I judged myself. I put myself down. So many things. You know what I'm saying? Like I allowed myself to endure so much disrespect, and you know what I mean? It showed. It showed because of how people treated me, and how I allowed them to treat me. So to get to a point now, I'll say within like the last 3 years. About the last 3 years. I think it was that was the last relationship that I was with a woman. You know what I mean? And to how I feel like we treated each other. You know what I mean? Like we had a few situations where it was like, you hurt me, so let you make it up to me type shit. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case is. But we just weren't, again, we just didn't know how to treat each other. We didn't know how to love each other. I don't think there was a focus on that. I think there was a focus of people with past traumas, and we collided. So trauma bond, if you will. And but all in all, I didn't like how I felt. You know what I'm saying? And in that relationship. I felt like a shell of myself. I felt like I was being this character. It's like all these years of creating this social mask to be this person that I thought everybody wanted me to be so that I could be liked, so that I could be loved and accepted, and all that shit you do when you're in elementary and middle school, like an outdated dating system, trying to fit into society and trying to be with someone. It's like, again, the military, going off to the military, leaving everything that you knew back home in Virginia to be a part of this world, the real world, and because you left as a kid. Now I've created this person that the military just kind of like helped coach me to be, and then there was parts of me that I became ashamed of. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't love myself enough, so I just kept being this chameleon. Whatever I felt that was needed for me to shine or be accepted or try to elevate, that's what I was willing to do. Like, that's how I was addicted to being loved. You know what I'm saying? That was the addiction. I was addicted to feeling like I was loved. Not actual love, but the addiction to feeling like you were loved. And I know I'm not the only person, and I'm sure people can relate to it, but learning how to love yourself unconditionally is by far the hardest thing you're ever gonna fucking do in this life. But at the same time, when you learn to love yourself unconditionally, that's how you treat everybody else around you. You won't judge people. You don't, you know what I'm saying? You don't hold shit over people's heads. You allow people to be whoever the fuck they want to be. If that's what you want to do, fine, great. You want to go talk to 10 guys, go ahead, cool. You want to go talk to 10 women, that's your thing. It ain't got shit to do with me. Nothing anyone does has anything to do with you. You know what I'm saying? So when you learn to love yourself, you don't let people project their insecurities onto you. You don't let them project the fact of how they feel about themselves onto you. Some people tell you they love you to hear that shit in return. Some people tell you they miss you to hear that shit in return because of how they feel about themselves. It's validation. You know what I mean? I know because I've done it. You know, like I said, and anything you don't like about somebody is probably because you don't like, it's something about you that you don't like in yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it boils down to. It's crazy to understand that the best and the worst relationship that you could ever have is with your fucking self. So, like I said, for me, the worst relationship, yes, has always been the way I treated myself for a very long time. And, but thankfully, I was able to go through all of what I thought was bad, but it's merely just a challenge, because it's not good or bad. It's literally just a challenge. And some things are more challenging than others. And it's like an experience. That's really all we're going through. We're just going through a fucking experience. It's because all that shit you thought was bad helped make you where you are today. You don't get you today, whoever the fuck you are and whoever you feel you think you are, you don't get you today without everything that you went through in the fucking past. So you have to learn to embrace it. You have to learn to accept it. And nothing changed until you did. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, God and the universe will find a way to move your ass when it's time for you to fucking move. But there's always signs there for you to recognize that these things are happening around you. But if you don't pay attention, you're gonna see the same people. You're gonna see the same behaviors. You're gonna get the same type of treatment from different people. You just keep going in a fucking toxic ass circle until you recognize that you are valued. You have to value you more than anything else. That's it. You don't owe anybody shit. I don't give a fuck who you are. You don't owe anybody shit. Nobody owes you shit. We are here on this earth just to live life, man. Just to experience it together. There's some people that you come around you may not like. That's okay. They don't have to like you. You don't have to like them. You know what I mean? You try to, again, especially like with some of us with this dating shit. You may find some shit you don't like about a motherfucker. Okay. If it's something you can live with, great. If it's something you feel like, you know, it's going to be a problem or something like that, that's fine too. You're not obligated to stay. Peace the fuck out. Roll on, whatever the fucking cool term you use right now. Bounce, you know, I'm outie, 5,000, dating my damn self. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, those things And the second part, what lessons did I learn from it? I learned that I'm more powerful than I thought. You know what I mean? And just by knowledge, that's it. Just merely learning from myself. When you learn to study yourself, you can read books, you can read self-help, that's great. I mean, I get tools and tips and shit like that to how to operate my brain. But me actually studying John Robert McAllister III, yes, government name, Romy Mac, I studied his ass and still studying. It's a continuous thing. It's not something that's gonna stop. We're gonna continue to fucking go as long as I'm breathing. I'm going to study me and understanding that I create me daily. Like, you can't say, oh, you know, well, Romy wouldn't do this. Don't put yourself in a box. You know what I'm saying? Every fucking day, do something that scares you. Do something that challenges you. You will never know how far you can go unless you do. Like, they say that question, I think Jordan Peterson, or I forget which one of my mentors mentioned it, but like, how tall does a tree grow? As long as it can. That's it, as high as it can. It doesn't decide, oh, at 25 feet, I stop. It just grows. Be a fucking tree. Grow. Like, your fears do not know your strengths. Real shit. You have to continuously push yourself. And those people around you that say you can't do this, those are their limitations. Don't confuse their limitations with your limitations. Fuck them. Honestly. Fuck them. Like, you have to decide that you're gonna live your life the way you want to. And get out of the fucking matrix. There's a lot of us living in the fucking matrix and doing things that, you know, living in conformity. That's one lesson I learned from this relationship with myself. I no longer want to live in conformity. And there's still things I'm still unlearning about myself from my past ways that's enabling me to grow more as a man. And it may cost me some people and things that I once held dearly. I had attachment. That's another thing. No more attachments. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not attached to this identity of myself. Let it fucking go. Sometimes the ego gets in the way and you feel like this is you. Like, you don't want to do this because it's attached to your ego or your identity. Fuck that. You know what I mean? Like, you realize that you are just a human being. Like, the way a plant grows and dies, that is what you do as a human being. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. You want you in your mind, you can believe that you're the greatest, whatever it is. That's the ego. You know what I mean? That's nothing but ego. Just be human. That's it. Experience things. Fuck up. Make mistakes. Learn from them. It may take you a long time before you actually learn from the mistake. You may commit the same mistake for 50 fucking years, and at year 51, you finally learn it. If that's your story, that's your fucking story. But you have the power to change your story. You don't have to sit in that shit forever for how you feel about yourself. And so in closing on this one, so the biggest relationship, the worst relationship I've ever been in had nothing to do with anybody else. Just me. Do you believe in second chances? It's a bit vague question, but I'll go into detail about second chances. I believe that you could have multiple chances. I just believe that it's all about the effort and how you fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us are unlearning a lot of toxic behaviors in which we were raised in, that we had no say-so in. This is programming. When you have children, no matter what you tell them, they're going to believe it, regardless of what it is. If it's healthy or unhealthy, you know what I mean? It's literally like it's like a perfect example, not to compare us to zoo animals, but if we were in the wild and we were in the lions, whatever the fuck they call it, Pride Rock, whatever the fuck it is, in the area where the fucking lions are, and we just stand there, what the fuck you think would happen, right? The lion's gonna fucking eat us because that's what it's naturally born to do is to go after flesh. You know what I'm saying? But if you look in the zoo or the circus, aquarium, whatever, these animals that would normally eat the fuck out of us are programmed to not do so because they're raised this way. And that is how that's how we move as kids. So you meet some people be like, damn, you comfortable leaving? You know, some people leave, I don't know, so, you know, got some families, I'll tell you just growing up, you go with some families, they put the whole pot of like whatever they cooked last night in the refrigerator. They don't put it in a container and all that shit. Now, if you've never seen that before, you might be like, yeah, what the fuck? Oh, that's ghetto as fuck. You judge, you know what I'm saying? Like you're judging people based off of that shit. And, but it's just, they were taught this way. It was normal to them. It's not about whether it's health, you know, again, not about healthy or unhealthy. Literally, this is normal for me. So that's where it is with like second chances. So if I am, one is having the knowledge too. So if I am talking to, again, got one of my friends or some shit like that, and I know that they keep, they get frustrated, right? And they project their frustration out. They use anger and they come at you a certain way. But I also know that the same friend is trying to better him or herself. As long as I know that whatever they do is not about me and it's not draining me, but so much, second chances. But if you got somebody who does not see their faults, fuck them. That's it. Period. Like, yeah, like don't sit there and try to have, try to keep somebody in your life who will not admit the fact that they are at fault about something, because it's not going anywhere. Because how do you convince somebody who feels like they're not wrong? You know, at anything. You're the first human to be born that's perfect outside of, let's say, Jesus was. You know what I'm saying? But this individual just feels that they can do no wrong and they will not admit to their faults. How did that benefit you? I'm not telling you to not have love for them, unconditional love. We're talking about boundaries here. You know what I mean? It's possible to have unconditional love for somebody, but you gotta have boundaries. The boundaries aren't for them. The boundaries are for you. So you have to love yourself unconditionally as well. You know what I mean? So second chances, I'm all for second chances. It really just depends on what I'll say the mistake is. I imagine that I'll deal with it when the time comes, as far as like the second chance and all that shit. But they say, you know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, fuck the peace sign, load the chopper, let it rain on you. J. Cole. And with that, we just, again, I take it back. I'll erase that. But, you know, our whatever you believe in, higher power, God, the universe, Buddha, Jesus, anything peaceful that you believe in, as far as like mistakes, we constantly make them. So I mean, it'd be hypocritical for you not to believe in second chances, because how you treat yourself is how you treat others. So if you have this perfectionist mindset, like I once had, and still lingering effects of it, like you won't forgive yourself. And if you won't forgive yourself, then that means you won't forgive those who have fucked up. And what that does is leave resentment, and then that weighs down on you. So it's like learning to let go. Letting go of anyone who you feel has ever hurt you. Letting it all go. You don't do it for them. They're not getting away with shit. It's about you. Because those very people that could have done you wrong, they could die. Are you still gonna hold on to that shit while they're dead? You know what I mean? Like it's all about you. It's all about how you interpret things. You know, we don't suffer. I think Epictetus, whatever the fuck the ancient philosopher said, is that We don't suffer we don't suffer from things. We suffer from the way we interpret things. So we have to learn how to view things in different perspectives in order to not allow that shit to take us over. There's more than one way to looking at stuff, and it's all about how you interpret it. You can interpret it in a way that's going to hold you down, or you can interpret it as a way for you to learn from it, accept the challenge, overcome it, and then bring on the next one. Because I promise you, there's another challenge around the corner. Like, there's always going to be something that's going to fucking test you. If you got children, there's going to be a kid that's going to test you. If you're married, you're going to be a spouse that's going to fucking test you. If you're on the job, it's a nigga that's waiting to test you as far as how far you want to go. You're constantly being tested, but it's all about how you interpret things, and you got to protect the house. Protect your peace. You know what I'm saying? This thing right here, you control you control what you allow in. Because once you let it in, it's over. But you have to learn how to protect your peace and then just move on from there. But second chances, I believe in them. I believe in second chances. I also believe in boundaries. So handle them accordingly. Could politics or religion define the future of a relationship? For me, just all depends. You know what I'm saying? Like, commonly, I'll say like this. I grew up as a Christian. I'll say now I'm more spiritual. You know what I mean? And I believe in God, and I believe in the universe. And that the fact that some religions practice conditional love to a God who gives unconditional love. So, in a sense of like religion, I don't need you judging me, because who the fuck judges you? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Like this practice where we feel like we have to judge those who don't think like us. There's an attachment to this religion, this belief. It's literally just that. They're just beliefs, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not meant for, this is not you're dictating who you are based off of this set of religion, not your natural instinct of who you are as a person. You know what I mean? You got some, like even, there's okay, perfect example. You got some people in the church that don't like to talk about sex, right? And shit like that. Now, you tell me, how did we get here without sex? Just curious. Just curious how the fuck we're going to get here on this earth without sex. It has to happen, right? And if you're gonna do it, you might as well be fucking good at it. And how you gonna be good at it if you don't talk about it and you don't learn from it? So if we act like it's taboo that we don't talk about this shit, we're not being natural. That's a natural thing. Sex is a natural thing. You know what I mean? But you have some people that get so affected by the religion that they just don't want to discuss that. Oh, I feel so bad talking about this, or I did this, or whatever. Okay, I get it. You don't want to have sex until you get married. And I understandably why. Like, if you remain a virgin and you just get married, you don't know what you're missing. But, yes, some of us have decided to break those commandments and fuck before marriage. And that's just us. Shout out to the many of us out there that did so. But you know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is that, like, with religion, we get so attached and it becomes our identity. You know what I mean? When you're just a person, that's it. You're a human being, and you got people that they deal with the flesh and all that stuff. You're going to get tempted and all these things, and we get hard on ourselves. So it's like being in a relationship. Let's say you're in a relationship with somebody and they judge you on a simple fact that they're so highly involved in the church and all that shit. Why are you judging me? I'm not gonna be the perfect Christian. I'm not gonna be the perfect Catholic, perfect Buddhist, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just a person. It's an idea. Now, don't get me wrong. It's a goal. It's nice to have a goal as far as like church goes. But how is it that you get to judge me? Who the fuck are you that you get to judge somebody on the strength of that? But that can be a factor, like in a relationship. Let's just say you're dating, I don't know, somebody is involved in the church, right? And they're at a certain level in the church, and you're not there yet within your own spirit, because it's all about your spirit. It's not about your ego, about how you look, how this may look. Oh my goodness, like my son, or learning that your son is gay or some shit like that. Your daughter is gay. Now you shun your kid that you brought into this world that you love for a fucking religion. You know what I'm saying? This is unconditional love. This is my baby, regardless. Whatever I'm practicing, any religion, this is my kid. Who am I to give my child conditional love because it doesn't look good in the eye of the church? That church is not perfect either. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean? Like, again, why would you treat your child that way? I mean, I don't know if some parents even know that's what that is. That's what that can be perceived as. It's giving conditional love to somebody for the simple fact that they don't feel the way that you feel. But God loves us unconditionally. So help me understand it. In order for me to come here, I have to be perfect in the eye of God. Even though everybody in this motherfucker is full of flaws. So just because you sin differently than me, that makes you better. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit like that, what I would see growing up, and even now today from like certain people that are still involved with still involved with church that think that way. That shit puzzles me. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole point of all this shit is to give unconditional love to create peace amongst one another. That is it. Stop fucking judging people. All that shit. Just cut the shit out. Accept people as they are. You know what I'm saying? Meet them where they are. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't fault somebody because they haven't got the knowledge you have just yet. Period. So, talking about religion, politics, being attached, can a Democrat be with a fucking like Republican? Here we go with this attachment to identity. That's where we got to stop. I feel like we need to cut the whole shit where we think that we are attached to anything. Like you make that as your identity, you move differently. It's not you. You are not. I mean, you may be in the party of a Republican, you be in the party of a Democrat, but that's not you. It's you know what I'm saying? You've not attached that to your identity. And what you are is a human being. That's it. So can you be in a relationship with somebody who has a different party? You sure can, as long as you don't judge them for it. Can you be in a religion? Can a Buddhist be with a Christian? You sure can, as long as you don't project those insecurities. Like, a lot of times in religion, you got people trying to prove that their God is right and the other ones are wrong. The objective is just to have peace. You know what I'm saying? God is not insecure. God don't need you to tell him, need you to tell other people how great he is. Why would somebody that has all the power, who knows all and is all, be insecure and need you to promote him? That's not how this works. That's just logic. That's just my logic. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, but to answer the question, in real life, without people having because the way I feel like not everyone's going to see it the way I probably explained it on average, but I'll say, yeah, do they pose a factor in relationships? They sure do. They tend to, because people allow themselves to be affected by that. And it's really about how you interpret it. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's not going to think the same way. So if you like Dirty Dancing and I like fucking Ferris Bueller's Day Off, we can't be together? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I see it. Because it's just the state of values that you have. I believe any relationship can work as long as you're willing to learn how to love that person. That's it. You have to learn how to love them for who they are. Meet them where they are. Don't try to project you onto them. Love them for who they are. You know what I'm saying? Don't make them into this image you had in your mind, because that's your image of them. Love them for who they are, okay? You have to love whoever's around you. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, just unconditional love. Don't judge people for doing shit differently than you. Some people are, you have no idea what people have gone through to get where they are. You know what I'm saying? Some of us have gone through some fucked up shit. So to be here and actually being able to communicate, that's something to be proud of. You know what I mean? And then you still got a long way to go, because everything is continuous. Life is about being a student. You just stay a student forever, learn different things, try to better yourself. But yeah, I feel like could religion and politics define the future of relationship? It can, only if you allow it.